Sunday Night Football, Matt Brown and Noops Christensen for lineups, Denver and Washington. This is 5.5, 6 in favor of Denver. 43.5 is our total here in this one. Of course, this is brought to you by our friends over at Bet365. It is again, if you live in a Bet365 market and you don't have an account already, I don't know what you're doing. They have promos all season long. They have stuff going on every day of the week. Go in, take advantage of all that. And also one of just the cooler menus of a lot of the books. I know we're talking NFL right now, but I mean, if you're a golf bettor, it's the only book that offers each way betting in golf in the United States. Like, it's super popular overseas, but they bring it over here and allow us to do all of that. And of course, like I said, they're not afraid to give you any sort of promo any day of the week. So, Noops and I talk about it every week, but honestly, this is, even if it wasn't brought to you by Bet365, we would still tell you should have a Bet365 account.
We definitely would. And you make such a great point. Again, the deli menu, I always talk about, no one has a bigger menu than 365. They have some really nice odds. A lot of those high vig markets like touchdown score, they take a little less juice than a lot of other books. You almost always get a better price there. So again, if you live in any of the states lucky enough to have Bet365, you better have an account.
So as I said, we're sitting here. This is 5.5 in favor of the Broncos. The Commanders 43.5. We will not get Jaden Daniels back for this game for Washington. So this is a Marcus Mariota line as Denver goes on the road over there to Washington. Denver's defense just continues to show up, Noops. And I mean, week after week after week, not only am I blown away by the players themselves, but I think that the scheme and the way that they go about attacking these teams and really taking advantage of the weaknesses of all of these teams. It has been a masterclass all year long by this Denver defense. And I don't know if Marcus Mariota is equipped to take advantage of that. I know the Denver offense is nothing that we're like super excited about, but I mean, the defense, if you don't allow very many points, your offense doesn't have to do very much to cover a 5.5 point spread.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. And again, Pat Surtain's coming back this week. The defense should only be better. Both teams coming off a bye. I think they'll have excellent game plans for one another. And I just don't know how either offense gets the ball moving here. I mean, the Denver defense is spectacular. They are going to just swallow up the Commanders' offense here. It's going to be a really tough day for them. But at the same time, the Commanders' defense hasn't been great, but neither is the Broncos' offense. They don't show up every week. So I think this is probably kind of a classic game where it might be like 14-7, something like that. So I was blown away when I saw the total was as high as 43.5. I will happily bet that. And honestly, probably even look into some alt unders on Sunday morning once I see what the final injury report looks like.
Yeah, I went on the prop angle with this one as well. Hey, I do not hate if anybody wants to play this in a different way than me, but I went prop angle here. And so Bo Nix really, really enjoys throwing the ball to Troy Franklin. And Troy Franklin, I would argue, and I know like on paper he's not, I think Bo Nix, if he had his druthers, would want Troy Franklin to be his number one target. I think Troy Franklin would be the number one option here in this offense. The books were still put out numbers like 44.5 from a receiving standpoint on Franklin, who also, by the way, is a downfield deep target. So could get you either all or most of this on one catch, right? So you are looking at a secondary that's just been torched all season long. I mean, the Commanders have been atrocious covering receivers all season long, absolutely torched. And so at 44.5, 45 yards for what I consider to probably be the first option, or really close to being the first option for this team, it's just too low. We're trying to get ahead of these things and whatever. I mean, there's still a lot of season left, right? And so Troy Franklin's number in 3 weeks might be 58.5 as opposed to 44.5 right here, because everybody sees how many targets and how often Bo Nix looks his way. So I'm going to get ahead of it here. I think that he comes out and really puts on a show here. Might even play, I know it's the trendy thing to talk about, but I might even play some ladders here. I might like kind of play the 50, 60, 70, 80 on Franklin, because I do believe that this is one of those opportunities against this secondary in particular where he could put up some pretty big numbers.
Yeah, despite Troy Franklin playing about, we'll call it 160 less snaps than Cortland Sutton, he's got 7 more targets over the season.
Yeah.
He's got 2 games with 10 plus targets. I mean, he's averaging, call it 9 targets a game over the last 5 weeks, way more than Cortland Sutton here. So I like that quite a bit. I would look at receptions, I would look at yards. I think it's all good.
Bet $5, get $300 in bonus bets, win or lose, with Bet 365 Sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER, 21 plus only. T&Cs apply. In app only.